Yeah, there we go. Bada bing, bada boom. As usual, guys, technical difficulties. Sorry, that's why we're starting late. That's why I'm sitting here moving the camera around like a dunce. Oh, all right, guys. Sorry. Welcome to another beautiful episode of the Battaglia Theory. This is episode number 7, and I am here at JW Healthy Hemp Dispensary in Sparta, Tennessee. And sitting next to me is the wonderful Jaime Winnett. And today we're going to be discussing about her store and just all the help that she does for her community. Because, like I always talk about, that is where it starts. Sorry for the late introduction, guys. That's why we're just jumping right into this thing, putting her on the spot. This is her first podcast, so we're going to go easy on her today. But I'm excited that she can be with me and we can do this journey together. And let's get into it, everybody. So, Jaime, I appreciate you coming with me. This is weird having to turn and look
It,
like
it
this,
is. It's
but
just
that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, first of all, I just appreciate that you let me come down and talk to you like
Sure.
this in a new setting, in a new environment. Well, your environment, but
My environment. Yeah.
so tell me a little bit about your environment. What got you into starting this crazy idea, getting into the hemp industry?
I've been in sales for over 20 years and I've done everything from real estate to, everything you can imagine. I've done radio advertising, still do that. And uh, it- Sometimes God opens those doors that you are not waiting for. He opens doors that you just sit there and you look back and you're thinking, okay, I really didn't want to do this. I never wanted to own my own business or anything. And it just happened to be we were up in the East Tennessee mountains, and this particular person had a product, and they introduced me to it. It helped me and my husband almost immediately, and within a few months, he said, "How would you like to open your own business and be able to help people, and and make a little bit of money in the process?" And I was like, well, okay, all right. And so that was really how it started. It was the weirdest thing ever. It had to be a God thing, because stuff like that just doesn't happen.
Right, right. I get what you're saying. And so so you started this wonderful. Why get into hemp itself? Why instead of you know just taking a regular pill and seeing the help that not help that it doesn't do? Why choose CBD? You know,
I mean, I'm 43. I'll be 44 next month. Hey, by the way, today's your birthday.
this is a birthday podcast.
That's
That's
right.
another reason why we're so late because, of course, that would happen on my birthday when I want everything to go right. But
Absolutely. So happy birthday. But I'll be 44 next month, and I have been very fortunate to go my entire life without having to um take any medication. I've been very blessed. God has blessed me with good health. My husband is a little older. He's 55. Sorry, honey. And he's really good. My husband's a cancer survivor, 30-year cancer survivor. And, by the grace of God, takes one pill just because he had a thyroid with the chemo. So we've been really good with that. Now, my husband has been a partaker of substance. Sorry, honey. Back in the day, my husband is sitting here and giving me funny looks, but you know, um, and we know so many people that did, and they had good results from it. They felt better when they smoked, whether it's hemp or other products. And so we got into this, and we saw that it really helps with anxiety, that it really helps with depression and pain. And when you can see instantaneous results, it's important. And what's really cool is that we actually have doctors now, and of course I'm not going to mention names, but we actually have doctors now who send us patients. And that's pretty cool because obviously the insurance companies, they have tied the doctor's hands with, medication and pain meds and things like that, and we're able to help, which is pretty awesome.
it's it's really good to do that because I mean it's just can hardly hear Jacob. You know, we literally just figured out how to hook her into this not too long ago, so that could be it because she's hooked into it and I'm hooked into it. But it's okay, we're still figuring it out. So I guess I'm just gonna have to yell. I don't know. Um,
We may have to share this mic.
yeah, I guess or share this. Yeah, we have
Right.
in the middle of both of us at the beginning of this podcast, the regular mic, but that's what we might have to do. But flip it back and forth for whoever's talking up. That's okay. You ain't got to hear me. It's my podcast, but we're talking about JW today, not Jacob Taglia. So, anyways, just getting into something that's natural, because I've been watching and getting into that show Dope Sick on Hulu. I just finished it, and just to see the strain,
Mhm.
opium, and just all these. Oh my gosh, can barely hear me. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna unplug. You. There we go. All right. How is that now? Can everybody hear everybody just fine? You can take those off now,
Okay,
I
let's do
guess.
that.
Yeah, let's
I
do
tried to be
that.
mess my hair up.
I
That just
know.
didn't
Yeah.
work,
Well, that's why it didn't want to work, I guess. Um, but anyways, after we were rudely interrupted by more technological problems
There you go.
because I'm not technologically savvy. But anyways, there we go. So we'll just do this, and I'll just keep passing it on and off. We'll last all in between every one.
I'm pretty loud. I think we're good.
Yeah, yeah, I know it. But so something just like I said, natural, because what the other option is, especially whenever you get into oxycontin, hydros, Vicodin, all those crazy stuff that marijuana itself has been just criminalized,
Sure.
and it goes all the way back to the early days.
Yep.
All these important white people, would sit here and talk about, oh, if these white women smoke it, they'll be having sex with black men and just all this crazy stuff. Like, and this is you can all look it up, just the crazy propaganda that's been thrown to it. And you can look where it goes back. William Rudolph Hearst, he was one of the original newspapers in this country. He had a printing press and everything, and he had paper. And he saw how hemp was growing, how you could use it for paper, like so much easier. You can, 5 acres can make you as much as what a whole forest could make, and you can make it in, half the time, you know. And the way that they just put up this propaganda just for people who are in big pharma to make money. People who like have just criminalized it for the prison industry for everything like that. And it's good to see educated people and people with a conscience and people who love their community and just know that there's so much more that this medicine can offer. And we're not talking about it's not legal in Tennessee
No.
yet. So all this is healthy hemp. That's all it is. Hemp, CBD,
CBD.
and Delta 8, which is legal now through some crazy loophole, and
Yeah.
it's
Because it has to be less than 0.3% Delta 9 THC. But what's very interesting is we can sell Delta 9 edibles because it's still below the percentage, but I can't sell Delta 9 bud because there's
it's
no
above
way
the
because
percentage.
it's above the
Right,
percentage. So
right.
there is major loopholes in the law. And it's really funny because, like you said, we're stigmatized about what we do. I am a Christian. My husband is a Christian. And I mean, listen, they nothing comes before that. And so when we first got into this business, we caught grief from some people in our churches, because of we were selling pot. And obviously we don't. I mean, we're friends, and the good thing is we've stayed friends with our local law enforcement as well. I stay in contact with the sheriff, with the chief of police, and we do everything by the book. And they've both said if it comes from you, we're good because we know you're real straight with everything that you have. Um, but we are stigmatized. But what I don't understand is some of those same people that criticize us are the ones that want me to meet them outside of my store for them to buy product, which I find is a little crazy because, God sees what you're doing. So what's wrong with you doing it here? And we have seen people, we've been able to get people off. And I, by no means do I tell people not to take medication because that would be completely irresponsible. But people that have wanted to try a different avenue, we've been able to get people off of hydro and oxy and stuff like that because about addiction. Everybody's got addiction in their family, and we've been able to get people off of it quickly. Been able to help people with anxiety and things like that. So it's. I think people want that natural way, but they don't know who to trust. And with these type of stores, you can obviously buy these products at gas stations. You can, and by no means am I putting down anybody who does this business, but you can buy this anywhere, but it really is the education that you have behind it. And when you come into our stores, because me and my husband are owner operators, you're talking to us.
Hmm.
You're not going to come in. You're not going to see a 21-year-old that's on their cell phone that really has no idea even what the price of something is. We actually know our product. We can explain it. We can give you every bit of information that we have. And if we don't, we can go back to the manufacturer who makes for us, and we can get that. So
See, and the accountability that you're showing through, like what you said, you're not going to get some kid in here who's just not caring or who's smoking the product, and just sitting there, But it's just like I said, the whole stigma around the non or the seriousness of it, because there's people who, like you said, want to go that natural route, and you're not saying, oh, don't take any medicines, nothing like that. But there's some medicines that isn't worth the natural. Like the US is the only country other than New Zealand that's allowed to have medical commercials. Like medical commercials make up 75% of TV commercials. This was a study back in 2020. You can look everything I say up. I don't have time to post it and all that. I'm not technologically advanced to post it on the screen. So you guys are just gonna have to do the work yourself like I did. So I'm not stealing nothing for whoever is listening. But
and if you listen to the side effects, holy smokes!
well, you can't because that's the
Yeah.
thing. You got your family and your kids, and you're just running around in this
Right.
happy field, and then all of a sudden he just turns and has that weird face pan into the camera and talks about, oh, this medicine makes me feel alive again, and then you got this dude talking 90 miles an hour
Yes.
right after him. This thing can also give you
Right.
so you don't even know what it does until it puts on you, until you get it,
Yeah.
and it just changes the chemistry that's in your brain. And people talk about, smoking can do that too. And yeah, but I don't know, like you can, until you know and understand what it is, and everything we're discussing right now is the legal stuff we have,
Yes.
like we're not sitting here just, oh, 420 get high every day, Snoop Dogg stuff. Like this is stuff that isn't harming anybody.
Right.
First of all, it's most of the stuff that's in here right now, and we'll later on during the show we'll give you a tour of the new and improved
That's right.
JW JW Healthy Hemp, and but most of the stuff in here is zero THC in it.
Well,
Well, point oh oh,
point
yeah,
oh, yeah,
yeah,
0.3%.
yeah. Anything under that number is what she can legally sell.
Mhm.
So you're not coming in here and getting stuff and going to be you know,
No,
feeling
it's
like you're on
yeah.
the moon. It's just it puts you in a different space that, like you said, for anxiety, it helps a lot. And that's the space that people need to be put out of every once in a while because this thing that we call reality, that humans have made and it's been distorted over the years,
Oh, yeah.
and that especially comes with religion, like you said. There's a lot of people who are bashing what you do,
Mhm.
but those same people are, popping whatever they have to get through the day,
Exactly.
or drinking wine. Like there's no difference. There's no difference, really. And you can sit here and look at health benefits and you can see how many people have died from drinking and taking medicine, pills,
Mhm.
pain pills specifically, opioids, that kind of stuff. But you know how many deaths marijuana has in its books? You take a guess, everybody. That is a big, fat, whopping goose egg. See, she knew that. Everybody who knows what this does knows the truth behind it.
But
It's been. Go ahead.
oh,
Go
sorry, I
ahead.
didn't want to.
No,
But
no, that's
listen, last year Tennessee tried to get rid of Delta 8. They were going to completely get rid of it, which I have been in a battle with legislators in Nashville. I've got them on speed dial on my phone. But one of the legislators, I will not call him out by name, but he actually told me verbatim. He said, according to the statistics with the state, there was 6,500 people that overdosed on marijuana last year. And my first words to him is, "That's a lie. It is absolutely impossible to overdose on marijuana. The worst thing you're gonna do is eat everything in your kitchen or go to sleep. That's it."
or go to sleep if you really do too much
Yeah.
marijuana, you will go to sleep, bro.
Yes.
It's not like you're gonna sit there and just drop dead. Like,
And
that's
you're gonna
not
sleep well.
yeah, you're gonna sleep well. You might sleep for 16, 18 hours,
Yeah.
but, and then you get the dangers that people do talk about is the edible marijuana.
Yes.
But that's it's a completely different thing entirely.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
because when you eat it, your liver produces, it's a meta 3 hybrid something metabolite. It's this big long thing. Y'all can it's something I know that it's something your liver makes whenever it
An enzyme or
notices. Yeah,
something.
it's an
Yeah.
enzyme that your liver, kidneys, or something makes in your body whenever it notices that marijuana is in your stomach, and it needs to help break it down because so that's what creates the more psychoactive effects of edibles and stuff like that. And that's why they're so much stronger, so much
Mhm.
more potent. That's why it takes so much longer to set in because
Yes.
you're not breaking that blood brain barrier when
Yeah.
you smoke it.
And that really is true. Like when people buy our edibles, especially, we'll tell them to break it down. If you buy like our Delta 8 gummies are 50 milligrams, they're like, oh, that's not a big deal. Trust me, you do not want to eat that 50 milligram gummy. And
You'll find out.
yeah, you'll find out. And people make the mistake. They'll eat it. And 15 minutes later, they don't feel anything. Well, then they eat another piece, and then it all hits at one time. And then you get on that train. You got to ride that train to the end. And so with ours, we tell people to break that 50 milligram gummy into 6 or 9 pieces. And people do that. They're like they have a great experience. And that's one thing with us being responsible when we're talking to our clients when they come in is, we want you to have a good experience, whether you're wanting to do it for pain or sleep or whatever, or if you're just wanting to get a little high. I mean, that's up to you. But here's something that's very interesting. Most of our customers that come in our store, I would say, are above the age of 55. People think that you've got a bunch of stoners that come in here. I have 5% of the people that come in here that really are just wanting to get high. Everybody else is coming in because of anxiety, sleep, issues and things like that. And this is going to get personal for me. You asked me one of the reasons we got into this is I'm 43, but I'm suffering from the midlife menopause,
Hmm.
issues. Well, I never dealt with that. But what the doctors want to do, they want to put you on every kind of hormone therapy known to man or anxiety medication. I tried that. Like, dude, they put me on Zoloft. And I ended up in the ER.
I took Zoloft too as a kid, as a child. I took Zoloft.
And I ended
Yeah.
up in the ER. Actually, I went to the ER a Thursday night and Friday morning. I had to go back to Satellite Med, and they gave me more IV fluid. I mean, I was so sick, and and it was because, of course, the hormones mess with your anxiety and things like that. But um, once I started doing this, if I feel my anxiety, kind of crawling up or something, I can hit my vape a couple of times. I'm fine. I mean, it's that easy, it's that quick, and with the vape, you can kinda control how it hits you and what it does and things like that, and it's just a really cool thing. I mean, I'm not blitzed out of my head. You'll never walk in here and find us where we can't have a conversation
Yeah,
with you and take care of
yeah,
you.
you're discombobulated,
Yeah, no.
uneducated, just some burnout.
No.
That's what people, like I said, that's this culture that's been weaponized over time by big pharma, by people who have a financial
Yeah.
interest in marijuana not being what it is. Because here's the thing, hemp in itself can do so much more than just get you high. If we made plastic out of hemp, if we would have done that before we even made plastics, global warming probably even wouldn't be an issue. Climate change, all this stuff, that would fix half of it. There wouldn't be a landmass trash heap in the ocean because we went with plastic hemp that breaks down. Guess what? Hempcrete, 4 times or at least 2 times stronger than concrete. You know, clothes,
Oh, yeah.
like I said, paper. There's so much stuff that it's and it's just one plant. You can do this all off one
Yeah.
plant. Same plant, with differences in genes and seeds, and then you get in phlebotomy or whatever that is. That's blood, I
That's
think.
blood.
Yeah,
Let's not
yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah. Whatever the, plant doctors are, people much smarter than me.
Right.
And it's just like I said, it's how the fact that it's just been weaponized for so long by people who have interests not of the American people at heart. And that's why I talked about it when I talked about it. Everybody's like, "Oh, you were just talking about, 2 people within the last 2 podcasts you had were people in recovery. You're sitting here talking about this." Like, I'm just, disrespecting that, but I'm not because hear me out. For some people who are on those types of hard pills, drinking, whatever, yeah, it might be switching from one addiction to another, but one, this one's not going to kill you. And two, mentally, you're so much clearer. Like, it's not, you can't, I can't explain it other than the fact that it's just, like I said, it's just been weaponized for so long. And it infuriates me when I sit there and think about it. That's why I keep repeating it over and over and over and over and over again. But the fact that for so long, and it's not even just this, you've got the FDA letting big pharma do its thing. Everybody's gaining something, money's switching hands left and right. So if we did this in the right way, if we legalized this, look at Colorado and all the tax revenue they've brought in, from it.
You know, here's the issue. When I've talked to legislators last year, when they were talking about, getting rid of Delta 8 and things like that, or legalization of marijuana, um, the problem is it's not so easy. It's not so easy as let's just legalize it in Tennessee. Like I wish it was, but as a business owner, it's very difficult because you've got to remember it's still against federal law.
Hmm.
So, if I have 25 pounds of marijuana here and the DEA wants to come in, they
And
can
get
raid.
it.
Then there's nothing I can do because I'm still breaking federal law. And like that, people don't think like I can't deposit money into the bank.
You've seen that. That was another thing that even happened in Colorado. These people had to hire ex-military
Yes.
because they had to load bags of cash around because
Yep.
they wouldn't because the federal government would let them take a credit card at their dispensary.
But a lot of the states that have legalized marijuana is they have opened almost like cannabis credit unions
Hmm.
and things like that that handles the cannabis industry and things like that. So there are, and what one of the representatives told me last year is that Tennessee would not legalize marijuana until it goes legal on a federal level. I have mixed emotions about that because obviously as a business owner, I don't want to break federal law. I mean, as an
As a
American,
human
I
being,
don't. Yeah.
yeah.
But, I mean, it just really ties our hands in a lot of ways. So it's not just, oh, and if it goes medical, and people may look at me weird. I'm actually for it to go medical. I don't know if I'm all for it for recreational.
Yeah.
I, I kind of have a love hate relationship with that.
Well, because with everything, you've got the negative side of that. The
Sure.
negative people who are gonna just sit there and
And get stoned all the
yeah,
time.
be stoned all day,
Yeah.
not moving on with their lives. But chances are they were like that way before they started
That's
smoking.
exactly right.
Like all these people talk about burnouts and hippies and all that, but guess what? They're working Americans, bro.
Mhm.
Every day that wake up, pay their taxes, have families, love their kids, you know, live their lives, and you wouldn't even tell. And the only thing that they do is smoke.
I mean, would it not I mean, I remember when I worked in corporate. Oh god, I hope I never do that again.
Mm.
But I remember, when I would come home and I was so stressed out and, because of the day, and I didn't believe it or not, I actually don't smoke that much. And everybody thinks because we own this that we're, big smokers and
Yeah,
stuff.
just
We're
rolling
really
in it.
not. I mean,
Yeah.
but you know, if I was able to come home back then and I didn't have to worry about a drug test and I could just smoke a little bit, everything would have been so much easier. I could come home, I could chill out, I could enjoy, being home with my family and cooking dinner and stuff like that. But, you know, and I think, in certain professions, you don't need to you need to pass a drug test. I
Yeah.
mean, I do. We're very cautious because of like the Delta 8, Delta 9, THCO 10. It can pretty close to fail you on every drug test. So if
Yeah.
you've got like your CDLs or your nurse's license and stuff like that, I'm usually trying to tell people don't do it
Yeah.
because that's their career,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
we've got to be responsible with what we're selling.
What 110%. And like the problems that you do get drug testing, you do fail on it is not of you, but like you said, you're an American business owner. So
Mhm.
therefore you have to follow the law.
Sure.
And for that law sadly to be that, oh, you can't come home and smoke, but it's more socially acceptable to go home and just kill a bottle of liquor.
Exactly.
You don't get drunk tested.
No.
They don't have beer tests like, so even if you fail on a drug test, because that's what people don't understand. When you fail on a drug test, it is any time depending on a urine, just a basic urine is 30 plus days, depending on how your kidneys really break it down.
Right.
Um, so you could not smoke at all of that 30 days or those 25 days in,
Mhm.
you're clean but guess what? You still got 5-ish days left, so you're probably going to fail. Hate to tell you, but and it's crazy how you would get in trouble for that, because you can drink anytime, even if you don't smoke on while you're working. You're
Right.
100% sober when you're working, but when you get off work, you want to spark up, some
Yep.
CBD, some Delta 8, some whatever, and you run the risk of failing a drug test, but you're just trying to calm down and not kill your body with, a liquid poison or change your brain chemistry through, the antidepressants, all the weird drugs that they put out there for helping you, and you don't know what it's doing to you,
Right.
you know.
But I mean, you think about it, talking about changing your brain makeup and things like that. I mean, that's what alcohol does.
Hmm.
I mean, it does. And while you might not go to work the next day drunk, let me tell you, the older you get, hangovers hurt.
Yeah.
And they stick with you a lot longer. Me and my husband were talking about that. Back in the day, you could drink and you could get drunk and you get up the next day, go back to work. It was no big deal. Now it lasts long. So
Right.
it's like 3 or 4 days where you really don't feel well. And so really you still have that residual effects where if you smoke marijuana, it's out of your system, as far as you have no effect from it the next morning. You're
Hmm.
back clear headed and you can go to work and do your job.
Yeah, and not even, like it depends how you are mentally with,
Mhm.
but most of the time it won't even once the high wears off, that's that,
Yeah.
you're good. You might be a little tired, but other than
You're gonna
that,
sleep
that's
well that
really
night.
it. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna sleep well that night. But other than that, that's really it. Like and for people, like I said, to be tested over it, even whenever they might not be doing it while they're at work,
No.
you know, but they're still being punished for it. They're still being, you know, discriminated against in a way. And it's insane how it's all, like I said, come together for the greater good of all these other people, when all it can do is help you. All it
Mhm.
can do is help. It's so much more than I know, like I look like a stoner. Okay, we'll just call it like it is. That stoner persona was a part of my life at some point. So it's like, I mean, I guess I got a horse in the game, but not really because it got me to eat. All right, when my dad died, that's all I did was work 2 jobs. I was literally working 16, 18 hours a day. There's 24 hours in a day. You got to sleep at some point, you know. So like, and I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't sleep. So that's when I really just started getting into it. Yeah, at the time it was just to not talk about it, not to talk about pain or whatever. But that was on me. That wasn't the weed doing that or the marijuana. I went into it negatively and ended up using it negatively. But there's so much positive impacts that can come of it. I was able to eat. I was gaining weight. Mentally, I was just clearer. I could focus more. Like I saw whenever I would do it, my eye was on the prize. It's a third eye thing that a lot of people don't understand unless they've been a part of that lifestyle. That it really does. You can sit here and you can bash it all you want, but until you've done it and you just know,
Mhm.
that it's just, you feel better taking it. Growing up, I was taking medicines and I would just not feel good about taking them. Like, I just knew something wasn't right
Yeah.
about them,
Right.
you know? Like, but I can talk about that
But
all
I have
day.
people that come here. You talk about being clear headed. I have people that come in here that are artists, and they love to do it just because it helps them become more creative. I mean, it really helps you. It's not. You hate to say it. Oh, you just get out of your mind, but you
Hmm.
kind of do, but in a really great way, because we all hold our stresses. Whether it's family, whether it's jobs, whether whatever. The bills, and if you're home, and it can help with so many different things because it just allows you not to put it at the forefront. It just kind of lets you set it back and kind of go into a different, I'm not even gonna say euphoric state, just one that where you can just relax.
Mindset. You can, it
Yes.
literally pulls you out of yourself and see, all right, why are you freaking out like this?
Yeah.
Why are you doing the things that you're doing?
Right.
It really does make you have an inner look at yourself.
Yeah.
For me, it might not for everybody, but awakening, I'm not an inspirational or awe-inspiring individual. Like it just I'm just a human. I'm just a human trying to go through human life.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just doing what I feel like I'm put to do on this planet. You know, and it's talk about the injustices and the problems that not a lot of people don't want to talk about. You know, they're controversial. You know,
But you were talking about when you were going through with what you did with your dad passing away and doing it to help you gain weight. And I don't think my husband will care for me talking about this, but my husband is, like I said, is a cancer survivor, and he, but he's a cancer survivor. And when he was in Vanderbilt, what was it 30 years ago? 30 years ago, um, you know, the doctor actually told his mom to come back and get some marijuana and bring it into Vanderbilt and let him smoke it so it would help him gain weight. He could eat
yeah.
and things
I
like
mean,
that. So it's not like they don't know this doesn't work. That was 30 years ago. And and now it's just, of course, now there are pills I think that you can take that's got the THC in it, stuff
yeah,
like that. But I've got one lady who she's got some other, it's not cancer, but it's some other issue. Of course, I'm not, but she's not being able to eat.
hmm
So she takes the CBD gummies and she eats.
yeah,
It just relaxes her enough. It relaxes her digestive system enough she can eat, and she does well with it. And
right.
so it really just depends on what you're wanting to do.
And it's natural.
And it's
You know,
natural, and
you're not
and
hurting yourself for
and
it.
she said, I've been to the hospital and they can't give me anything that works, but she can come in here and spend $1 on gummy bears and they're good, and
hmm
she can eat. And her husband comes in here, he's like, "Hey, I don't care. It takes care of her."
Exactly,
So,
and it's
and
like,
these are people in their 70s.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, see,
no.
exact the people from the generation
Yeah,
that were just in the forefront of it, you know,
yeah,
in the forefront of the battle that started, the war on drugs. I can't never. I understand opium's a plant, it
sure,
starts from a plant, but once they put it all and
yeah,
throw it all and da, 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 it turns into something else.
yes,
You know, weed when it starts from the seed, you put it in the ground. It's that same thing when it sprouts.
hmm,
Nothing of it has changed.
nothing else.
You know, like man can only do so much to it. They can make it more strong, more
Yep,
potent, whatever. But at the end of the day, that's all they can do to it. And no matter how potent it is, it's not going to kill you.
no,
It's not going to make you feel like junk. It's not going to do anything negative on your body that a medicine would do. I
no.
can tell you that. It causes far less damage than other medicines, in my opinion. But I'm not a doctor, so I can't sit here and say that for sure.
Yeah, and
But
we never play doctor either.
mhm,
Like I said, I don't ever, and nothing that you can buy in our stores will we ever tell you is going to cure you, because that's just irresponsible.
yeah,
But the doctors aren't doing it either. Except we're just honest about it. And that's
mhm,
the truth. The doctors say, "Oh, this will take care of that." Well, that's just irresponsible because we don't know how our bodies react to it. I mean, what works for you may not work for me. It
exactly.
may not work for your wife. I mean, we're all different
Yeah,
as far as that goes. So, it's I get so frustrated. But I'll tell you this. So there was this girl walked in my store. This was when we were across town. And she walked in one day. She was almost like a shell of herself. Like her mother brought her in. She's probably in her late 30s at that time. And she was just a zombie. I mean, it
mhm,
really, I mean, just had no emotion, no nothing. And it freaked me out. And I'm like, "Are you okay?" And her mom told me, I think she was on 5 different anti-anxiety,
SSRIs and stuff
antidepressants.
like that.
5. Holy crap. And so and her mom's like, "Can you help me?" I'm like, "I don't
I can
know.
try,
Yeah, we
yeah.
can try it." So, we put her we got her on some CBD and we got this, that, but she bought a sucker, a CBD sucker, and this was the coolest thing. She went home and I thought, "Oh god, I didn't tell her how much to take," but her mom called and said, "Do you know, by the time she got home after eating that, you could see life coming back into her. Do you know now she's off every one of those,
Mm,
every single one of them,
mhm,
and it is coming up in here." I mean, we see that things all the time. One other thing I want to talk about is with Parkinson's and people that have with tremors and things like that. And by no means am I saying this is a cure. Please, nobody hold that to me. But we have seen it. I had one gentleman come in. He was a Vietnam veteran. He come in here and he was shaking so bad. I mean, he could not feed himself.
right.
And it just brought. I mean, I just cried. Let me tell you, we shed more tears in this store than anywhere else. I cry all the time.
Well, because you're doing what you're supposed to do,
Yeah,
but carry on.
but
Sorry, yeah, didn't wanna
but
interrupt
this
you.
this guy come in here and he was pitiful, and I gave him a CBD sucker. I said, "You have to eat it while you're in my store."
Mhm,
And so he just put it in his mouth And I'm not joking. Within 5 minutes, he was steady.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
That.
he said, I can now eat. I can feed myself. I mean, we take that for granted.
Yeah.
I mean, I can pick up this bottle of water and I can drink out of it, or you can drink whatever you are, and we don't
Mhm.
have problems.
Yeah.
But that's a lot to some people. He was able to feed himself again
Right.
because we were able to. Now, it didn't stay gone, but when he could take the CBD, it stopped the tremors.
Exactly. And it's not even just. There's so many studies,
Mm.
that you can look up in your spare time. Whenever we say we're not experts, it's because we've done the research in our
Sure.
time, and we're the point. I like to share information onto people and knowledge, but at the end of the day, I would like you guys to do some work as
Oh,
well.
absolutely.
So that's as far as I'm going to say on that. You have to put in the work
Mhm.
on it. There's so many studies about children with
Oh,
seizures,
yeah.
and they give them the CBD. I was looking around whenever I pulled in right at that front spot of your shop. I didn't know if I was able to or not. That's why I was trying to back.
Yeah.
I was
He was a
yeah.
mess when he came in.
Yeah, yeah, it looked like I was a first time driver, but, I was looking around the border of your windows, and you've got, like the formula with,
Yeah.
what CBD is and what THC is, and then you got CBD oil, and you've got all these just facts, and just even the outside of your store is just a book in itself that I can sit there and read and be like, "Wow, I learned that today,"
Yeah.
you know? And it's so much more. It needs to be so much more acceptable than it is. That's really
It
point
does.
blank period the moral of the story,
Sure.
because of the help it does. Like you said, it helped a Vietnam vet,
Oh,
with
yeah.
Parkinson's who had like people who have PTSD,
Yeah.
you know, like they you can look it up. You guys have to
Mhm.
look it up because I'm not going to sit here and find it, post it up on here because I'm not smart enough to do all that. So you have to do it. That's my only request. You have to do it because I'm too dumb to do it for you. So, but it's like I said, it's just a travesty and it's a crime. It really is a crime that the American people have to.
I'd
But
feel ashamed.
yeah, yeah, grown people have to ask other grown people what to do with their own lives
Yeah.
and be told no. Like, who are you? Like, you
Mhm.
are no person. You're not God. You're not a higher. You're nothing. You're nothing but the same level of person as I am. You might be older than me. You might be a senator. You might be
Right.
a governor. You might be the president or whatever. But still, at the end of the day, you are still a human being. You have no right to tell me what I can do with my own consciousness. Really, point blank. Period. If I'm not sitting here, you know, killing people,
Mhm.
hurting others, or hurting myself, or damaging property, or stealing or whatever, if I'm literally just at my house minding my own business, leave me alone. What's the point? And it's like it just frustrates me because there's so many people that could benefit from this and who have benefited from it, but have to move around and shuffle their whole
Yeah.
lives like, oh, well, we can't do it here, so we got to pick up and move our things,
To
to
Colorado. Yeah.
Colorado,
Yeah.
California, Oregon, like there's not really. I don't really know. There's what 20 something states that are legal now, and
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know. I don't know
so.
the closest one to us.
Probably Illinois.
I
I
think,
think
yeah,
it's
yeah. I
Illinois.
think Illinois is probably
Yeah.
the closest one
Well, now
too. But
Kentucky just made medical legal.
did they?
They did, actually. I think it went into effect January 1.
Learning stuff here at JW Healthy Hemp. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I love coming in. I love coming into the store and just when just I don't know, man. When I come in here and just look and see what you've done, and we're fixing to show you guys.
Yeah.
We're almost at the 15-minute left mark here. So we'll show you guys the shop around.
You know what's cool too is now there are so many different ways. Of course, I mean back in the day, there was a lot of different ways to do it, but there are so many different options. You can just look. We're kind of looking around the cases right now. There are so many different ways to take this stuff. The edibles are so many different. The waxes and things like that, and people are like, I don't really know what that is, and I love to educate people. It's the greatest thing in the world.
Well, shoot, let's educate people right now. Okay, so um, do you want me to grab? You want to grab something and we can?
Why, sure, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
All
If you
right
want
now,
to,
all
I'll sit
right.
here and keep us. I'll keep us. Yeah, keep us occupied here while we discuss it. But there's so many kinds of different potencies and what you can and what really works best for people as far as what's in the hemp, CBD, marijuana industry. It's really all the same thing, but you can't say weed is this umbrella and make everything else be under that because there's not people knowledgeable enough to know that it's different things and one can get you high, one can't, like all this kind of stuff. So there's a difference in all of it. And I can sit here and talk about it for hours and hours and hours. But like she's getting some stuff. She's getting a little bit of everything here that we're fixing to bring out and show you guys. Um 'Cause all I am is on a webcam on a plugged in laptop that I can't unplug because it'll die. So I won't show what my cords will let me show. But we have there's just like she was saying, there's just so many different kinds. And I've stalled long enough. I know you've heard there's so many different kinds 5 or 6 times. So now you ain't got to hear it again.
Yeah.
But
He'll
we
quit
re-
saying that momentarily.
yeah, momentarily. But we really do have all sorts of different kinds down here at JW Healthy Hemp Dispensary. They also have one. This one is in Sparta. What's the address to this store?
650 Roosevelt Drive.
650 Roosevelt Drive in Sparta, Tennessee. And they also have one out in Cookville.
528 North Willow Avenue.
And then you just opened up one up in McMinnville not too long ago,
There
right?
is one in McMinnville, yes. It's 1103 Smithville Highway.
Okay, yeah, that's by the regions, all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
yeah.
I used to deliver some packages out there.
Yeah.
But
So
let's hit it. Yeah, you ain't gotta
look
say.
how yummy.
Yes, those look like peach rings, real
They are
peach
peach
rings.
rings.
Those are the edible kinds of
This is actually just CBD.
just regular CBD.
So
Exactly.
you can, I mean, and we have parents that buy these for their children. Of course, I'm not telling you what to do with your children or anything, but we have people that buy these for their children. It helps. I've got one that gives it to them every night to help them sleep.
That would be so much better than melatonin because too
Yes.
much overload of melatonin, especially in little children, could be detrimental to their sleeping when they're older.
And I mean, we have gummy bears with melatonin in it if
Yeah.
somebody chooses that. But we've got one customer. She was just here the other day. Her son is nonverbal autistic. He's probably middle school age, and he's just very a lot. You know what I mean? At times, and they've been buying some of our CBD gummies, and she's like, it's changed our life. He's so much more calmer, and he can learn and things like that. So it's great.
I've seen another study on that too, boys and girls. I'm telling you, there's literally a study for the benefits of this everywhere on pretty much everything you can think of. So
You can't have these either. No, we've got these are nerd nuggets, and these are fantastic. These are Delta 8,
okay,
and so
okay.
these are actually Delta 8 gummies rolled in those nerds. I love those things.
So you will get a little you will get a little fuzzy in the head with Delta 8. That's
Little
what we're
fuzzy.
saying. CBD you won't feel any effects of. You'll
feel the calmness, but
yeah.
you don't.
You'll
It's not
feel a
anything in
weight
the
lifted
head.
off your shoulders, but that's pretty much about all
Yeah.
you'll feel.
You're not going to get the funny.
Yeah,
feeling.
you're not gonna want to eat
But yeah,
really get munchies type thing.
But yeah, these will probably give you the munchies.
Yeah,
This
these
could
will
be
probably
fun.
make you want to eat other than nerd clusters, and those look very good. And she also has this roll. It's a back. You can put it on a muscle.
The miracle stick.
The miracle stick.
Miracle
That's what it's called.
stick.
I knew I'd just try to throw random words out
Yeah,
there, and you'd
that's
pick it
okay.
up. You see, for this being your
done this.
first podcast, you were doing so much better than I'm doing today because I'm not focused. I literally woke up because I got off work, woke up, and then rushed here because I overslept. The wife tried to get me up 2 or 3 times, but I wasn't going.
It wasn't
I guess.
happening.
So I had to wake up and shower and run down here really fast. So we're still we didn't just now get with the program about 35 minutes in. So you're doing
Right.
so much better
Oh,
than
I
me.
love it. No, that miracle stick was actually the product that got us into this business because when I was walking around up in East Tennessee, I was walking around and I was dealing with the hormone issues and my anxiety was through the roof. And I actually told my husband we were eating at the Apple Barn that morning, and I said, "I'm going home. I'm going back to the cabin and going back to bed. I'm just exhausted." So we were walking around this place, and she's like, "This girl had this." She goes, "Are you having any anxiety?" And of course, I'm perfect. No, and I was lying. And she asked my husband, "Do you have any anxiety or any pain?" And he said, "Well, my leg's hurting, or his knee was hurting." And I'm like, "Of course it is." Now he's going to stop and talk. And so he rolls his pants leg up, and he's sitting over there grinning. And she rubs this on his knee, and she looked at me. She said, "You don't have any pain or anxiety?" I'm like, "Yes." I was so annoyed. And she rubs this stick, and she rubbed it on my forearm in
Right.
that thin skin. And do you know, by the time we walked around, we got back in the car, we were getting ready to leave, the pain in his knee was gone, and my anxiety was gone. So we went back in and we bought one of those sticks.
Right.
And then it wasn't very long after that we started doing the business. So that miracle stick is great. It is.
I've used
You've
it.
used
For,
it.
yeah, I've used it for my back because I've got lower back problems from slouching, like I'm literally doing right now. I
That
always,
chair's comfortable.
yeah, it is. I'm just bad at slouching. I always have been. So that stick, I can feel better because it's got. You said what? It's got cayenne in it,
pepper in
all
it.
sorts of crazy stuff.
And then we have another topical, and this is it's a roll on. It's almost like the old deodorant thing.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's
Smell
got
that. It's
that.
good.
Oh yeah, ooh,
Isn't
that
that
does smell
good?
good.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a little roll-on plastic ball,
Yeah.
dude. Throwback to the old days.
So if you like, if some people are allergic to cayenne pepper because
Yeah.
the pepper can burn or
Yeah.
not burn, it can just get warm.
It's well, it's because it's like icy hot. Yeah, icy
Yeah.
hot type feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, it don't get cool hot, but you feel
Right.
it warming up on your
And
back,
it's really
which
nice.
helps break up the
Yeah.
tightness that's in somebody's muscles or whatever.
But this is really good. Like if you don't want that intense heat
Yeah.
or whatever, this is really good.
Because
and it works great.
CBD does work with inflammation. That's
Mhm.
another study that the people of the Battaglia theory got to look up because I'm not doing it for you. But there's a study on inflammation and CBD and how that helps as well.
Well, this is fun.
This is
You want to
this is
explain what
fun.
this is?
All right, so this stuff here,
This is wax.
that is wax. Oh,
Okay.
there you go.
There
Yeah.
we go, yeah.
What that is essentially the sweat that comes off of
Well, that's an
these
interesting way of putting
these
it.
the bud, the flowers, nuggets of the CBD, the delta 8 of the marijuana of the plant. Okay, you heat it up, press it, get it real tight, and it creates this extract, and it is the purest form of CBD,
THC.
yeah, THC you can get.
It's like 92% THC.
Yeah, while regular flour or nuggets is 20, like it's no more than 30%.
No.
If it's 30%, you're doing something really well,
Right.
essentially. Like 30% is even high, but most is
Yeah.
low concentrates, nowhere near 97%. So that stuff is the business.
Mhm. That's stuff you're gonna have fun with.
Yeah,
Let's
that
just-
stuff you do not drive, you do not operate heavy machinery, all
you
this
do
stuff.
it at home
yeah,
and just stay there.
and just stay there.
so
Stay there.
we were talking about Delta 9. Now we have the chocolate bars, and we actually have espresso, Butterfinger. Oh, what else is it? Milk chocolate, espresso. Yeah, we've got those. And then these are the pillows. These are the gummies, and these right here are pre-cut. So they're broke
So
down
all
into
you gotta
sections
do-
and stuff.
okay,
Except
yeah,
I would
yeah.
still break it down more than that,
Right.
to be honest. But when we talk about Delta 9, we can do the edibles. Like even here is a cereal bar. This is the Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity
cereal.
Pebble
There we
cereal
go.
bar, guys.
So, and that's just quite scrumptious. But, so we do have the Delta 9 products. Now, this is a really fun product.
That looks cool. Sour apple with caramel, dude.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
legit.
So if you love like a sour apple at the fair, you would love this.
That's exactly what I saw.
So basically, this is a 50 milligram THCO sucker wrapped in 15 milligrams of Delta 9 caramel.
So stay home, folks. Don't drive. Don't you operate heavy machinery. I'm
I've
telling
got
you.
a lady that loves these. She'll buy 30 at a time.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
she's like, seriously, this is the best type, because what you'll do with these is you'll bite into the sucker to mix the THCO and the Delta 9. It's fantastic. And for the people that don't want to get high and they don't want to, whatever, bath bombs. CBD bath
There you
bombs.
go.
This is a nighttime one.
So it'll help you sleep.
Yeah. We've got these. We've got skin rejuvenation. We've got muscle balms and stuff like
There's,
that.
like I said, there's so much. It's literally, if you looked into what all marijuana does, you would not believe that this one plant does it all. Everything you can think of, you can do with this plant.
And we all have puppy dogs.
Puppy dogs.
Puppy
If you love
dogs.
your dogs, man, and you want them to calm down for the night, you don't want them barking at 3 a.m. at a squirrel or the wind blowing in the wrong direction.
Well, it's not even just that. It's like, fireworks.
Oh,
and
yeah.
things like that. Or, during the holidays when you've got everybody at the house and the dog is kind of panicked and things like that.
Because there's
And
so
we
many people.
And we actually have cat treats as well. So we actually have it for dog and cat.
Because cats definitely need to chill out every once in a while. some of them are ruthless.
And I didn't bring but we have disposable cartridges too.
Okay, yeah, so that's just
The
vapes,
vapes.
stuff like that. But that's this oil that they'll break down and put it
Yeah.
into a smokable,
Yeah.
disposable cartridge.
And we have this in Delta 8, Delta 9, and THCO, and Delta 10.
Okay.
So we've got those and all
So
that.
you can or cannot get high if you choose to do so
Correct.
with all those.
And the last thing I wanted to say real quick is this is our Delta 8 oil. Okay. Now we have CBD oil, which is, really good. But this right here is basically the way the terpenes are broke down.
Yeah.
So think of it as like the beginning of the train, Um, but we have it in Awaken. So this will give you a little bit of energy during the daytime. Now this stuff will get you high. Simple as that. It's Delta 8. And we have the hibernation for sleep. I had a lady that bought this, and she's like, I just can't sleep. She's going through menopause as well. She's having her, and she bought it. And I went in the next day to where she worked. She said, "Let me tell you what, you don't have a choice. You're going to sleep. It's fantastic."
Yeah.
And then we have it in Relieve for pain. The lady that makes this for me, she said, "I think it's better than any pain medicine on the market today." And we've given this to cancer patients. We had a guy, and I'll tell you this real quick. I know we're getting close on
Oh,
time.
you're good. You're good. We can go over.
No.
I'm not doing nothing.
But this one right here, this guy walked in my store. It was a Saturday morning about 9:00. He was on a crutch or on a walking stick. His mom was with him. I would say he was late 40s, early 50s. Guys, he walked into the store and he said, "I have fibromyalgia." He said, "I am 6 years clean off opiates, but the doctors are wanting to put me back on opiates." How stupid is that?
Sickening.
Why would you do that to someone who
It's
is
sickening is what that is.
And
You're
he
past
said-
stupid at this point.
and he's like, "I need help."
Yeah.
So I put him on the 1,600 milligram Relieve, and I put him on 3,000 milligrams CBD to take during the daytime. That man's walking 6 miles a day now.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
See,
and then,
it works.
and the
guys.
last one is Tranquility. It helps with anxiety. And again, it's the way the
Or stupid
terpenes are
people
designed. Yeah,
who
depends on
want
where
to
you're
sit
at.
here and prescribe you opiates.
Exactly. So that's just, obviously that's not all the product. And we've got pet oil that's actually made. And one good thing about us too is we really try to help our local farmers because we have three farms in the Upper Cumberland that we buy from.
Okay.
So we get some of our product. We have one farm that makes our pet oil.
Okay.
That you would just put it in the dog's mouth or cat's mouth. They actually make it here in White County. We buy some bud here in White County. We buy some in Putnam County. So we're really good. Oh,
I was going to say, you can
James
shout out
Henry.
all these people if you want.
well,
yeah.
I'm not going to mention the names because I don't want everybody to know where we get it from.
Yeah.
Damn
Oh,
it.
yeah. No, yeah, just kidding. Because some people are shisty and try to
Oh,
steal
gosh.
stuff from good, hardworking
Oh,
Americans
no.
and individuals. But
So, can we show this?
go ahead.
Are you
yeah,
okay with
yeah.
showing
This
this?
is your
I
your
know.
business.
My
Your place
business.
of industry.
Oh, here, do you want to smell?
Smells like good old hearty, your
So,
everyday.
This is,
This is
Can you-
flour
there we go.
nuggets. There you go.
yeah. Are we good?
Yeah. If you've never seen what it looks like in your life, this is what it looks like.
That's
And
what it
it's
looks
going to look
like.
the same for CBD, Delta 8, marijuana, whatever.
It all looks the
It's
same.
it all looks the same. It all smells the same. It all tastes the same.
It's really quite nice.
It is. It is.
Pardon me, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, you're good. No, it's
Come here and
very,
smell it.
yeah, it's very whole earthy
Yeah,
smell. You
it
know, you
is.
really smell the dirt and the naturalness of
Yeah.
what we were given. You know, like if we choose to use something that is from the ground that doesn't involve the making of hands, you know, because who truly knows what's in these medicines?
Nobody.
Nobody
And
does.
it's probably coming from China.
Exactly.
I mean, let's just be honest
which is,
about it,
Yeah, yeah. And
So,
or you can get something that you literally get a seed, put it in the ground,
mhm.
cover it up, throw some water on it, give her some sunlight, you know, and wham bam, thank you, ma'am. You have a perfectly good medicine that's earth grown, you know, from the earth. You feel so much better about it. Like I said, it's amazing the benefits of this one plant. Like I said, if you really looked into what it could do, you would be amazed that it's a one-stop shop like it is. You know,
We have a friend of ours who owns a pharmacy, and this person told me, they said, everything in your store is a whole lot better than anything in mine. And they own a pharmacy. And they sit there and said, I mean, really,
because they know.
they do.
Yeah.
Everything in your store is better than anything in mine. They know it. They just can't say it.
Yeah, and it's such a shame how, like, we feel weird being on the internet talking about this stuff, but what
Yeah.
we're doing is still it's perfectly legal. Everything
Mhm.
in this story is 100% up to code, up
Absolutely.
to law.
Got documentation on it.
Exactly. Like, but as a people, we shouldn't feel bad for wanting to do this versus it's just so crazy how socially acceptable drinking is, in every level, in just
Oh,
the
yeah.
people level and the church level.
Yep.
Like, because, Catholics, they be drinking wine and all that kind of crazy stuff, but then they'll sit here and say, oh, we're ungodly because, we want to smoke some CBD, Delta 8,
Yeah.
what have you. Like, but last time I checked, who gave us plants?
Uh,
It's not a man. Man can't make plants. Last
Mm-mm.
time I checked,
Nope.
but that's all I'm going to say
we
about
can
that
change
topic.
it. We can
Yeah,
change
yeah,
it,
we can
but
change
it's
its topography and make it
just make
stronger
it
or
stronger.
weaker.
Yes,
We can also make it weaker. That's the conversation that people don't want to talk about either. We can make it
absolutely.
CBD that has nothing in it that you can not get high, that you
Yeah,
can feel 100% in your lane. Because whenever
absolutely.
you say high, it's not really you're put on a different elevation.
Mhm.
They're more, I don't know, man. Like some people get dumber, but that's that's just who they were before the marijuana came
Yeah,
into their system.
I think it just
You
it
know?
exacerbates where you are, what you already are.
Yeah.
I really do. But
It makes you follow your dreams. It really puts your
yeah,
dreams in the forefront of your mind or what you aspire to be as an individual. For me personally.
yeah. But with me, well, yesterday I was having some panicky issues. I do. I have those from time to time. And my husband and I, oh God, we were going into a store yesterday, and or Saturday. It was just crowded. My anxiety went through the
Yeah.
roof. I had my vape pen, and I've got the Tranquility on it, and I
Mhm.
hit it a few times. I went in there and done my stuff, and I was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And that. And some people, instead of getting up in the morning and taking a handful of medications, and you know as well as I do, well, my parents are both passed, but I would take my dad to the doctor or something, and you would see these older people. They would come in and they would have a garbage sack full
Yeah.
of pills.
Oh, shoot.
I
Dad
mean,
was on a lot of pills.
yeah,
Mom, she's
yes,
cut a lot of hers out, but she's on
because
still a couple.
this takes over. This kind of counteracts the side effects of this one, and and it's just like, seriously, is this where we're at?
When we could put those same brilliant minds
Yes.
to this plant, like what we could do, what humans can do with this plant, like it's a building block
Mhm.
that can be made into so much stuff. Like I said, literally plastic, homes, clothes,
I think they're doing fuel.
fuel. That's
Yeah.
what I was. I forgot about that one too. Yeah,
My husband
hemp.
comes in on that one.
Thank you, thank you. Like it. What all it could do is truly
Hey, gas prices
insane.
wouldn't be $5 a
Yeah,
gallon, like it
yeah,
was not too
exactly.
long
And
ago.
it's and how it's so easy, how it grows everywhere.
It does.
You can literally grow it in a closet. You can grow it in a desert. You can grow it on the side of a mountain whenever it's -30 below. Like the fact that it's just so strong of a plant and what it can do. And if we just got our heads out of our keisters, man. Like I can't really say anything else than that. How it's perfectly okay to be prescribed, 600 opiate,
Yep.
600 milligrams of opiates a day, or oh yeah, just drink you a beer after work to, or drink a couple beers till you stop feeling something or whatever. Like how everything is just so against this drug for nothing other than the profit and the good of the prison industry, the pharmaceutical industry, because the pharmaceutical industry would turn on its head if weed
Yes.
was federally legal for medicinal use and
Yep.
recreational. If it's for medicinal use, then that means it's a medicine.
That's right.
And what we could put it in and what we could do to it would be so much more than what we could do to it now. So it would open up so much more avenues as to what we didn't think it could do, you know?
And I want to tell you this really sad thing. I had a guy come in here the other day, and it broke my heart. My mother died with cancer, and this guy comes in and he said his mother is terminal, and she has decided not to take treatment,
Mhm.
which is fine. I mean, that's her decision.
Yeah.
But do you know the doctors would not give her pain medication because she decided not to take treatments?
Yeah, they wanted her to take the so they were gonna
Listen,
make her hurt until she said, "Alright, fine, whatever, I'll take
yeah,
the treatment."
and that's exactly right.
Yeah,
They
it's
didn't.
disgusting.
I mean,
Oh, that
that's
frustrates me,
oh,
man.
it
Oh, it boils my
infuriated
blood,
it
dude, yeah.
infuriated me because I know what my mother went through. My mother took treatments, which I didn't want her to, but she decided to take them. It's her
Yeah.
decision. But I was so angry. I sat here and cried, and I couldn't. I mean, you're not giving her pain meds because she has made a decision about her her health, and you're not going to help her. Basically, they give her the option: you either take treatments or you go in hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, we treat dogs better than that.
Hello.
I mean, and we're trying to help, this person and things like that. But you see that kind of, we hear. Let me tell you, you have no idea. If you guys were in the stores and you sat with my husband or myself and hear the stories that people come in here and tell us, you would cry your head. I mean, you would cry your eyes out. It is the saddest thing you've ever heard. How the doctors and pharmaceutical and insurance companies
Have
have let people
disenfranchised
down.
so many people.
Yeah,
Like, that's really what it is. They have disenfranchised them, put them in unbelievable scenarios that they never thought they would be.
absolutely, making decisions that they should never. This lady should not have to worry about not having pain. She's dying with cancer. She's terminal. There's nothing they can do. You can help her by just, getting her out of pain and letting her die with dignity. No,
Mhm.
you have to go to hospice for
Yeah.
them to do that, or or you just have to suffer. And I think it's terrible. It's just, I'm like you. It just makes me so mad. I can't.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Because the war on drugs, bro, has
It is.
been going on forever. And I'm
Yeah.
here to tell you, it's not like we're winning.
No.
Now we just got fentanyl put in everything. So maybe if we did legalize it and we had some governmental oversight,
Which it would be.
that's the whole reason. You want to know how people are dying from weed is because they put fentanyl in
That's
it.
it.
These black market drug
Yeah.
dealers are getting weed into this country because guess what? We're still going to buy it. We're still going to buy it. And we're still going to smoke it. So if we can't get it from our own government, we'll get it from somewhere. So these people bring it in and they put it in and put fentanyl in it too. That's how people die. That's when people start losing their lives. You know, not when they get it from a true, healthy, wholehearted source with somebody that generally, because guess what? People can sit here and say, oh, weed makes you this crazy person or weed makes you, the devil or whatever. But I'd much rather be around a pothead than a drunk.
Oh, good Lord,
Yeah, like,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's just all there is to it,
I don't like being around
and
drunks.
how for me in my life, whenever I was like out in the streets smoking, even though I was doing stuff that was illegal, it was the people I were with were better than the people who were being quote unquote legal
Mhm.
because being legal and moral are two completely different things.
Absolutely.
It's legal for Richard Sackler and Purdue Pharma to throw oxycontin into the industry and get so many people hooked on a pill that they didn't need to be hooked on. That was legal. They were able to get away with it. Guess what? They're still not in jail. So somewhere they might have broken a law, yeah, but guess what? They're still standing out of here right with us and free. So clearly legality is somewhere in there. So clearly legality and morality don't collude with
Yeah,
each other
and
like
and
people think,
and
you know?
we lost some young people off over fentanyl,
Yeah.
this past year and things like that. And it was very interesting. Those family members would come in and they say, "Hey, my 21-year-old or my 22-year-old is smoking pot. You know, I'm gonna send them to you."
How can I? Yeah.
Because they know, and that's what I was trying to tell legislators last year is, yeah, if they're not buying them from us, they're buying it from the street. And if they buy it from us,
From people who
it's
don't.
safe.
Hello,
It's
because
safe.
you have their interest at heart. Because
Well, I
despite
mean,
popular belief, most potheads, bro, are pretty caring, compassionate
they really are.
individuals. And that's people who smoke real weed and people who even don't. Like, and you don't have to have weed in your life to be a good person,
No,
but you don't have to have it in your life to be a bad person either.
we gotta
That
quit being judgy over stuff like that.
because guess what? At the end of the day, it ain't your life anyways, bro. It's not your business.
Yeah.
If they're all right, if they're smoking and then they're just not paying their bills,
Oh, yeah. Not taking care of
they're
their
yeah,
families.
not taking care of their families, oh yeah, you definitely have to intervene. But that probably would have happened with or without it,
I
like
don't
they
know
would have
anybody that
just been
smokes
on
pot that
something
does that.
else. Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
anybody that
yeah.
smokes
They'd have
pot that
just
does
been on
that.
something else and been irresponsible, you
Exactly.
know? Like, so that's just it's just a tragedy. I know I've been talking about it the whole podcast and I've said exactly that, but it is a
It is.
tragedy what it's doing to the American people,
Mhm.
you know. And I appreciate you for turning people on. How you have, like you said, you and Paige are pretty close at hand with each other on what goes on
Yeah.
involving your shop,
Mhm.
your product, and what you're putting out there.
Absolutely.
And the fact that he listens to you
Mhm. Yeah.
tells you something.
You
You
know,
know?
and I was talking to one of the law enforcement officers in this area, and he said, I don't think some of them even knew we were here. They said we never have problems at your shop. We nobody ever causes trouble, and we just don't allow it.
Nobody ever comes out, pulls out of your
Oh
parking
God,
lot
no.
and just slams into the Frank's
Yeah.
right across the street.
But
Like,
we're responsible. I don't want you using my product. I don't want you using it in my store.
yeah,
This is you take it, you go with it.
yeah,
And people do things differently. You have some places that have dab bars and stuff like
yeah.
that. We won't allow it in our
Yeah,
stores.
well, because you don't want somebody
I
being
don't want that
zooted, getting in
responsibility.
the car, backing it up.
I
Yeah,
don't.
no, exactly.
And so we really we watch out for our customers. That's our number one priority. And we've been in this business come June 1st will be 3 years, believe it or
That's
not.
amazing.
And what's really cool? If you check our Google reviews, our Facebook reviews, we are 5-star across the board.
Oh yeah, well,
Across the board. That's hard.
both of you. Yeah, that's very difficult, especially with the days of the internet where everything's just
Well,
magnified,
everybody's mad about something.
Yeah, but no, the fact that you guys are fighting the good fight. You're just amazing people that saw your own problems and wanted to fix them not only for yourselves, but you saw other people going through those same struggles and
Sure.
same issues and wanted to help your community. And that's what I love talking about, especially here on the Battaglia Theory. That I just love. That's why I started this, because I want Sparta, Tennessee is a small town. We're a very, very small town. Nobody talks about us. Nobody really cares about what's going on as far as the outside world or what's going on in Sparta, Tennessee. But so that's why I really wanted to start this podcast, talk to the people who do help our community make stuff for the better, and you are one of those people. I firmly
appreciate
believe
that.
the work that you are doing is good. I've seen a couple other smoke shops around here. I'm not JW Healthy Hemp is it. Like they've been in it like for 3 years. They got 3 stores across 3 locations, bro. They're doing something right. And the fact that, like she said, 5 stars all across the board. Like she's an amazing person inside and out. Her husband's an amazing person inside and out. How they sacrifice and put so much of their time and money and effort into this cause for the betterment of people. Where they can get off those crappy medicines, they can better their lives in ways that they didn't think possible through hemp. Through
Yeah.
hemp, man. It all starts with
And
just one plant.
I was going to say one last thing.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So the legislature will try again this year because they are back in session now to get rid of Delta 8 again. So what I would ask, your viewers to do is pay attention with what's going on in the state legislature when it comes to Delta 8. We fought it all the way up till the end of session last year. They were trying their best to get rid of it, which they did that in Georgia, and they got rid of Delta 8 for a month. The lawsuit was filed, and it came back. So, I mean,
Right.
we're pretty sure it can come back, but if it goes away, it stops us from helping a lot of people because some people cannot benefit as well from CBD
From
as they
just the
can the
CBD
Delta 8,
alone. Yeah.
which we can still take care of you, but Delta 8 is so much stronger. But pay attention to what goes on in the legislature. Follow us on Facebook because, if it starts getting hairy toward the, end of session, we may have you start calling your legislators. Let them know
Yeah.
that this does not need to go away. This
Well,
would
because
be-
they need to. Yeah, they need to listen.
They do. And, last year, from what I understand, the phones at the Capitol blew up. They invited me to come down to speak at the state Capitol last year. I refused. There are lobbyists that are down there working, obviously, for, the hemp industry. My responsibility is to our customers, and we have responsibilities to our local people because we are owner operated. We don't have anyone else to run our stores. So if I leave, that means my customers don't get taken care of, and that's not fair. So
You leave it in the hands of the people.
I leave it in other people's hands that are doing
Right.
a good job for us.
Well, still, that's amazing. Even doing the work that you did do, even though you didn't speak at the Capitol,
No.
you don't have to. You don't have to change the lives of people around you.
No.
And that's what I'm saying. And we're glad that you prioritize Sparta above, everybody else in Tennessee, the rest of Tennessee, or whatever. However people may look at it, they can look at it however they want. But I
Sure.
see it as nothing but a positive. The fact that you're like, yeah, I could be put on this platform, or I can still
Yeah.
help people in my small town of Sparta, Tennessee.
Sure.
And I appreciate what you are doing for the cannabis industry, for the hemp industry, for the CBD industry. Since, like I said, nobody really, you either know the difference or you don't. So
Yeah.
I'm all across the board for everyone. But would you want me to show around the store? You want it to still be a surprise for everybody, or what do you want to do here for the end of this podcast since this
Let's
is
just
your
let them come
episode?
in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
just do
So
that.
we're not going to show y'all jack. Jokes on you. We
He's
did
the-
that.
He is the first non-family member to see the store after we've redecorated.
Well,
so.
it looks amazing. I was in here before. It was a long time ago. Whenever they were first open, I think is whenever I was last in here. And the fact that they just do such good work, man. And I wish I could get down here more, but with the job, I can't
Yeah,
really
oh, yeah.
can't really be doing all this factory work. You know, gotta love it. But Jamie, James, you guys are amazing, man. We appreciate what you were doing for the community. I
Very
appreciate it. Even though I can't indulge in it, I can put the good word out there, you know, because I really do respect what you guys are doing for this wonderful miracle plant. You know, it's not people it they can call it a drug, they can not call it a drug. It alters your consciousness, however. So
Yeah,
I guess
okay.
technically it is a drug, whatever, but there's good drugs too, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what people are not understanding of. And this just so happens to be a good drug. So, for the people of the Great Battaglia Theory, I appreciate you for hanging out with us today as we looked into our first business in Sparta, Tennessee. This is JW's Healthy Hemp, and you are shout them out. Give them the locations one more time where they can see all your stores, see the
And-
beautiful things you got going.
In Sparta at 650 Roosevelt Drive. We're right across from Frank's. In Cookville, we're at 528 North Willow Avenue, right next to Bravo's Cafe, close to Tennessee Tech, and 1103 Smithville Highway in McMinnville.
That is awesome, guys. We
And follow
love
us on Facebook.
follow at JW's Healthy Hemp. All right, I'm
Yeah.
pointing it up, getting
There
it
you
off of us. There you go. That JW apostrophe as all right. I'm not going to sit here and spell the whole thing. You can see it or jwshealthyhemp.com. The plant is covering it,
That's
but
all right.
yeah,
That's all right.
.com. You know what it is, bro. We've had internet for a while. Guys, this is Jacob Battaglia. We love you. I appreciate you spending my birthday with me as we dove into an important industry that needs to be talked about more. Guys, we love you. We appreciate all you're doing for the podcast. Share this video. If you guys watched it and you loved it and you want more people to see what you got going on or what we got going on, share it, share it, share it. We love you. We appreciate you. You guys are amazing. Have a great rest of your Monday. Hey, it is Monday. I'm used to doing this on Fridays. I was about to say have a good weekend. Well, sorry, guys. The week's just starting, but I'm glad I can bring it in with you. We love you. We appreciate you. Signing off. Thanks, guys.